Hello everyone and welcome back to the Legacy Challenge here at Grey Ogre Games powered by the Power 9 Podcast. My name is Mick, I'm one of your hosts alongside Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Hey, no, it's Benjamin.
Yeah.
I heard somebody call you Jimmy.
No. I used to teach general paper.
General paper, so it's GP. Okay.
Yeah. So we have Sky versus Kelvin. This is an awesome matchup. It's Show and Tell versus Reanimator.
Oh yeah.
And
this guy's on the Sneak and Show deck.
Yeah. And
nice.
if Kelvin wants to play this right, and he puts Sky on the right deck, he can wait until Sky casts Show and Tell, and then put
that'll
some
be fun.
amazingly large creature into play. But that's not Kelvin's style. And when he came in today, he told me, Kelvin Hun, for those of you who don't know, stalwart of Singaporean Magic. He told me that he wants to kill someone on turn 1. So
are you able to play?
I mean, he can effectively kill someone on turn 1. He reanimates Sire of Insanity, and then he uses to discard his hand.
Right, you've got Animate Dead and Exhume with a Dark Ritual and Lotus Petal. So yeah, I think it's fine.
It's possible. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, Dark Ritual Entomb into Reanimate.
Kelvin has some really good cards to Show and Tell in if Sky casts Show and Tell. He puts Tie Spout Pirate in play and then just bounces all his creatures. So that's always fun. But Kelvin on a mount is 6. And Kelvin on the draw, on the play, scrying first. And then leading off with probably an Underground Sea into Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Oh, basic Swarm, So
basic
Swarm signaling he doesn't know what his opponent's playing.
Okay, so
the deck plays Thoughtseize so he can Thoughtseize itself.
Right.
In case he needs to get a reanimation target into the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughtseize on his opponent, because the other mode is not as good.
Yeah.
And now he knows what his opponent's on. Also, it's not exactly on Sneak and Show, but it's on the Sneak, Sneak, Omniscience, and Show and Tell hybrid.
I've been pronouncing it wrongly all this. Wrongly, but I'm pronouncing it badly on purpose.
Okay, so how do you pronounce How do you pronounce CONSCIENC?
Omniscience.
Oh, okay.
Omniscience. No, but I've been pronouncing it badly
so
on
Singaporeans.
purpose. Yeah, Omniscience. Because that's how it spells, man. Omniscience. If you
So
have a dash.
taking Preordain, the most efficient card selection spell. His hand is 2 lands, Impulse, Gitaxian Probe, and Omniscience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Impulse. Sky also getting his fair shot at looking at Kelvin's hand, but not quite as effective because he doesn't get to take away his opponent's cards. Yeah. Kelvin on a we were wrong. He's not on Sultai Reanimator. He's on Mono Black Reanimator.
Oh, then what is this deck list then? What is this
there's no blue.
Oh right.
Yeah.
No, there's a Bayu and a Badlands.
Yeah, but those are
1 and 1, right?
Yeah, presumably to help him cast his Sire of Insanity if need be.
So we're just gonna call it like 1 color Reanimator.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Sky's still thinking through his turns. One of the important things is to make sure you see as many cards as possible.
I think you could just save the Gitaxian Pro for the next turn. You can just lay a land and just pass. Boseiju.
It's good that he used the probe this turn, so he drew the Boseiju, so that he's now able to play it through any kind of counter magic. But what he doesn't know is that Kelvin's deck, quite unlike Kelvin, whose Modo handle is blue diamonds, or used to be like blue forever, has no Force of Wills in his deck. Casting Unmask, a card that we don't see much except in decks that don't care about their hand size, primarily because it's kind of like a reverse Force of Will.
Man, Unmask is
it's a very cool card. I love it. It's
cool card,
flavorful. It's cool looking art, but not that great to begin with. I think Kelvin casting Unmask and Sky asking if he can misdirect Unmask. He needs the text. He needs the actual Oracle text.
Alright, so for those of you at home, let's go look up the actual Oracle text for Unmask.
So Unmask taking away the Impulse, leaving Sky with 2 lands and 2 lands Omniscience, 2 Omnisciences, Omnisciences, and a Emrakul. So meaning a Show and Tell is probably
going to be the
but not exactly not exactly
Maybe
easy to
better,
find without a. And I think, yeah, Kelvin goes for Entomb Reanimate on Iona, and Iona naming Blue
Alright.
is gonna
so-
put Sky in a very tough spot. He's only going to be able to cast Sneak Attack
Mhm.
and use Sneak Attack to clear away Iona.
Alright.
With no Sneak Attacks,
Mhm.
he has no Sneak Attacks in his deck.
He does it.
There's no Sneak Attack in this deck.
So this is not sneak and show. This is
Yeah,
just,
this is just
show.
Show and Tell, Omni Show, or however you choose to call it.
We have assessed these decks.
Yeah.
Slightly,
So, yeah, I think he's actually cold.
yeah.
Because
I
he
don't think
has
there's
no-
any way to deal with the
Even
Iona
even if
on
you
the
had
battlefield,
Cunning
yeah.
Wish, which he
You
which he
can't cast
does,
the Cunning Wish.
you can't cast the Cunning Wish.
Yeah.
So I think Sky's just fishing for more information out of his opponent's deck before conceding, and Calvin being a very savvy player probably won't give too much more away. He's just gonna attack his opponent down, and at this point his opponent can't touch the Boseiju for mana, and he's probably on to game 2. So it's a quick game 1, quite unlike the match that we had on camera last round. But obviously demonstrating to you the kind of diversity of Legacy. So for Sky, he has in the sideboard 2 Through the Breach, 1 Huggle's Recall, 3 Ley Lines of Sanctity, which will be very good. 2 Pyroclasms, 1 Flusterstorm, 1 Surgical Extraction, 1 Intuition, and 1 Eladamri's Call, 1 Fire Mind's Foresight, and 1 Release the Ends, which are the wish targets. So I anticipate the Surgicals to come in, and the Flusterstorms, as well as the Ley Lines. There's an argument in not bringing the Surgicals so that you have more, air quotes, quote unquote, copies of Surgical Extraction with Cunning Wish. But certainly can see the Flusterstorms coming in, and definitely the Ley Lines to protect you from any kind of targeted discard.
Right.
So it looks like the stream might be down.
Yeah, we are having
Some
we're having
technical
some problems.
difficulties.
Yeah. But it's okay. We are still recording.
Okay.
And I believe what the people at home are watching is a black screen, and
us talking.
and us just talking.
Okay.
So we're gonna restart the stream.
Yeah. So
don't worry. We'll
on
just
Kelvin's
restart
side of the
stream and, yeah,
board, he has
just
3
refresh.
Liliana of the Veils, 3 Chancellor of the Annex, 1 Architect of Endurance, 3 Abrupt Decay, 1 Painful Truth. So these are cards that you probably need to look up for the viewers at home. And the four that's in the sideboard that no one actually knows what it does, and we probably have to give you some background info on is Stronghold Gambit.
Stronghold Gambit. Okay, I
Yeah.
have not heard of that card before.
Yeah.
What?
It's a Nemesis card that involves the flipping of coins. And it's very good. It's
Stronghold Gambit.
yeah.
You're serious, right? Okay, so here is the Oracle text. Each player
Oh no, not
chooses-
flipping of coins. Yeah.
Each player chooses a card in his or her hand. Then each player reveals his or her chosen card. The owner of each creature card revealed this way, with the lowest converted mana cost, puts it onto the battlefield. Okay, so this is actually a very, very interesting card, especially in this case because both players have extremely large costing creatures in the form of Emrakul and Bristlebrand and Iona. So you might actually win the fact that
Yeah. So this is a card that's great against creatureless control decks.
yeah,
Because
this
you
is
know
fantastic. This is-
and it's a card that's actually good in this specific matchup because his opponent's cards cost 15 and 8 respectively.
yeah.
So he can quite easily put a 6 into play, a 7 into play.
Yeah, I think the 7, the Bristlebrand will probably be the number 1 target. Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to put in, let's look at Architect of Endurance. The rest-
Architect of Endurance. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go take a look. Where's this? Okay.
So yeah, Kevin has a very unconventional sideboard plan.
Yeah.
He has Liliana of Veils, which he borrowed from me earlier today. He says they're very good in the Miracles matchup, but I think if I have anything, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play. Oh,
Archetype of Endurance.
Archetype of Endurance. He's gonna play Miracles, and he's gonna bring in those Stronghold Gambits, and he's gonna It's gonna be hilarious.
So this is something that you didn't find not long ago. and
Yeah.
It's a,
Your creatures have hexproof.
yeah, your creatures have hexproof. Creatures your opponents control have lose hexproof and can't gain hexproof.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still not that
6
great
mana, 8 mana
against.
creature.
Still not that great against the. Still not that great in terms of Stronghold Gambit, but you know it is a Gambit, so especially if your opponent has no cards in hand, which you can clear the way for
What
with
happens?
Thought Seize and Unmask.
What happens in a tie?
That's good.
Between the two.
It's a good question to ask and a good question to figure out.
Yeah, let's go try and figure out Stronghold Gambit.
Yeah, maybe we should restart the stream too. So
we started it again. Oh no.
okay,
What's up
Sky
with the
starting in
world?
play, starting with Leyline in play, which is very good against all the targeted removal in Kelvin's hand. And you know, Liliana of the Veil might be too slow to be able to interact with Sky assembling his combo components.
Yeah, the Leyline of Sanctity.
Yeah, but Sky has to be very worried about this matchup because if at any point his opponent has an Iona in his hand, Show and Tell is just not going to work.
But Sky does have some form of
Yeah, he has Through the Breach in his sideboard, so you can always Through the Breach Emrakul to clear the way,
yeah.
especially if an Omniscience in play.
Oh goodness, is this
Yeah.
going to be? Alright,
So he's going to Thought Seize himself, which is why he's going to put Sigh of Insanity in the graveyard,
He's going to animate it.
and then he's going to cast a second Ritual.
So there's got more than enough mana to
Yeah, so he still controls the Thought Seize, so he chooses to put the Sigh of Insanity into his graveyard. And then Kelvin is going to play a second Dark Ritual, so he gets up to 4 mana, and now he can play around his opponent having a single Force of Will. So he's going to cast Animate that Sky is presumably going to force it,
yeah.
and then he's going to cast a second Animate that, and it's going to bring the Sigh of Insanity to play.
Oh goodness!
And
Why did he force a will the Dark Ritual though?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
you wouldn't have known, and I guess you could argue he should have forced the Thought Seize on himself.
Yeah.
It's kind of fishy, but it's quite hard to. And Sigh of Insanity, you know, it's quite a quick clock.
Pretty unforgiving
Yeah.
card, yeah.
And Kelvin discarding his Stronghold Gambit. Very happy. Boys and girls should go and buy up all the Stronghold Gambits in the world
Stronghold Gambits,
before they go up in price.
yeah, I know it's a black screen, and well, we're trying to figure out what is the issue
Yeah.
here.
Sky not doing too poorly, assembling City of Traders and being able to cast a Brainstorm. I don't like him laying the City of Traders right away, but I assume that's a problem with... so laying the basic island instead, because he's going to fall under this Sigh of Insanity. But Sky doesn't have a lot of time, and with the Brainstorm whiffing on the fetch land, I think he's Brainstorm locked, quote unquote. He's going to draw Flusterstorm, and he's going to lose in quite quick fashion to Kelvin Hoon and his, his turn 1 kill that, quote unquote.
This is...
I'm going to go set up the second match, so...
Yeah. Okay, so... well, we're looking for the second match. We're sorry about the technical issues, but yeah, we usually, when there are more people in the store and people are like using the Wi-Fi, the internet connection does go down a little bit, which is why, when pushing out, it does affect the coverage. But yeah, while we are looking for the second matchup, I would like to remind you that you can find the rest of our content on YouTube, and if you want to check us out live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, we do our coverage. Tuesday nights we have the SCG game nights. Wednesday is More Than Modern, and Thursday is Thursday is the Throwback Thursdays. Sigmanugari, we are going to solve the technical issues right now. So yeah, just stay tuned. I know the screen is kind of going like Matrix mode right now. So we are going to try to make sure that we get the best reception and make sure that the stream goes out. But yeah, thanks for watching. We are lining up our second matchup, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
versus.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Legacy Challenge. We're still in round 2. We are watching here Naoto Watabe versus Mark Tan. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think Malto on the Grixis double deck that's been super popular that we see everywhere. And leading off with Tropical into Deathrite Shaman. Mark, piloting the eponymous kind of Miracles deck, the bogeyman of the format.
Wow, really? Miracles? Miracles is...
fetching and playing a counterbalance on turn 2.
Oh, that was fast.
Which is usually a problem for Delver decks, especially the Rug Delver variant that we saw. We saw Baoray on last round, but here with access to Deathrite Shaman, Naoto's going to be able to play Abrupt Decays and various ways to interact.
Ray Villa 17's asking, any Chambaleros representing...
Lots of Chambaleros. Yeah. Mabuhay, Ray.
Mabuhay.
So Mark triggering counterbalance off the... and flipping a 0. So Naoto is free to play his Brainstorm.
Yeah.
And yeah, our stream is dropping intermittently, but definitely stay tuned.
Yeah, don't go
anywhere. So I'll keep up with the live commentary. Naoto cracking his Expedition Misty Rainforest to find presumably a dual land and to be able to play a Delver, I'm guessing. He's going to be able to Pyroblast counterbalance, which is a huge win for him, I think, given that the card blanks a lot of parts of his deck. Mark drawing another land, which is always good against a deck that has presumably has some kind of mana denial strategy. Mark playing the Brainstorm, unafraid of Spell Pierce on his opponent's hand. So yeah, possibly shuffling away that Volcanic Island that he revealed off to the counterbalance. Yeah, but with no real ways to interact with Mark's mana. So Mark playing a Plow, stunning his opponent's mana, and more importantly, choking him on the ability to play an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
Mark does have to be careful of Stifle coming out of his opponent's deck here, but it could be a ploy, a way to draw cards out of his opponent's hand while he doesn't have, he's mana flooded. Naoto playing back with his Polluted Delta, and
Polluted Delta.
Cracking Delta to find presumably Underground Sea to be able to play a Delve creature, I'm guessing. True Name Nemesis is decent in this scenario.
True Name Nemesis hits the battlefield.
Yeah, True Name, not as scary for Mark because Mark has access to cards like Terminus, Council's Judgment, and other sweepers like that. So yeah, Mark thinking about letting this resolve. I don't think he's too worried about 3 points a turn. So he's going to be able to consider his options here. The beauty of the Miracles deck and the real attraction to playing the deck is that you get a lot of card selection. You get to choose. And Mark, I'm not sure if Mark should have played that island there. If I was him, I probably have stacked the Brainstorm differently, because your opponent knows that you have a Volcanic Island in somewhere in between your hand and the top 2 cards of your deck. So if he's going to give away some information, he should at least give away the fact, the card that Naoto already knows about. I think Mark thinking about it for a while and then passing back. He's in no real rush. He's not getting swarmed by his opponent.
Yeah.
He's going to take 3. Naoto developing his mana as well.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so
and Mark playing Snapcaster Mage at the end of turn.
We're going to Brainstorm.
Presumably targeting Brainstorm. And he's going to be able to cast Brainstorm. And yeah, Naoto, showing no real signs of being able to interact with what's going on. And quite unfortunate for Mark, he finds Red Elemental Blast after his opponent has resolved his True Name Nemesis. Hang on.
Alright, so we're gonna try to stream it at a lower quality so that, well, hopefully those of you out there will be able to watch. We won't start breaking up with the modem. But yeah. Alright, so it looks like we are live. Sorry
Yep.
for the disruption, people.
Yeah,
This
so Naoto with, I think it's quite a lackluster hand on his part.
Mhm.
But with his threat in play, doesn't have any real reason to force the action. Mark, having resolved his brainstorm, is able to curate his hand quite well and to be able to pick exactly what he wants. Obviously attacking with the Snapcaster Mage because he can't block. Mark, as you can see, his hand is full of other card selection spells and a rare Elemental Blast. So he's going to play an Explosives for 3 on his turn. And he's going to cast Brainstorm. Yeah. And so you see, Mark, these are the very simple, the very minute mistakes that Mark has made that make this game slightly tougher for him.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna see a spell pierce.
Yeah,
on
because
the
if he had
thing.
kept that volcanic, if he had
Untapped,
kept that
yeah,
volcanic,
then he still
he can't keep the volcanic untapped in this scenario because he needs
the
three
three
colors. But if he had kept the volcanic from his previous brainstorm instead of the basic island,
Mhm,
he would be
okay.
able to have kept the red up for his
red elemental blast.
red elemental blast as well.
Yeah. Okay, so
So yeah, Naoto fetching.
Mark, how much life is Mark? Is Mark on? I'm
Mark
gonna
is-
adjust the
Yeah. Yeah, Naoto fetching. And yeah, I think Mark sequence is, it might be deliberate on his part. Like he could be setting up like for a larger play later in the game. So not wanting to prioritize you spending that real elemental blast right now. And down to 12, so plenty of time left unless his opponent has any more interaction. And now to play another brainstorm to kind of curate his hand even further. But you can't, as the Grixis player, you can't be too happy with the number of lands that you have in play.
the fact that you've got like
It's going to be able to waste. And this is again so a lot of legacy players try and play around Wasteland half-heartedly. They fetch for the basics when they can't have all basics in play.
I see.
And a lot of the times what you can and should be doing is, in the scenario where you have to have more than a few basics in play, you should be actively searching for multiple copies of the colors that you need.
Okay. So right
So,
now
yeah.
he's trying to resolve the Jason Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, he's resolved the Jace. And floating red for to have Red Elemental Blast backup.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Mark passing by casting a Vendilion Click,
Nice.
and he's in quite a poor position here.
Probably gonna strip that.
And he shows a hand of Red Blast and Red Blast and double swords to plowshares.
I think you can just leave the red blast behind. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, okay.
So he's
so
telling him to
just-
keep it because his hand doesn't really do anything against his current board.
Yeah.
Mark-
Both are probably going to swing
He's
into
gonna kill the
Jason
Jace.
Mind Sculptor. Yep.
Yeah.
Jace dies.
Jace dies. And Naoto in a commanding lead here. Mark gonna draw his card for the turn.
Alright, so
He's gonna cast the Terminus.
Yeah.
How lucky of Mark.
Yep.
Uh,
That actually, well, you should.
Yeah.
You should.
You should, but given that both the
Don't
players
have
have
to,
information about exactly what's in Mark's hand, Mark
so
doesn't
it doesn't really
need
have
to be too worried. Naoto drawing his 5th land. But now he's able to
finishes.
play Young Pyromancer.
And keep up.
And keep up. So he's gonna be able to plow the Pyromancer end of turn.
And it's
so
going to
cast Brainstorm
brainstorm
in
to get out
response.
some. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's too much that Naoto can draw off this brainstorm to punish Mark. So Mark's going to have to work with a 1/1 Naoto's going to have to work with 1/1 elemental token. But
Yeah.
if he does draw something like Flusterstorm, this could be pretty backbreaking.
Would you? Okay, so in response to that, would you have cast the other Path to Exile on the
The plow?
Yeah. Sorry, the plow. not the
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely not. That's quite poor.
plow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So Mark
resolving a
showing why
counterbalance.
he's a master at Magic, just top decking a counterbalance.
Yeah, of course.
With his opponent not having much of a clock in play.
Because this is Magic.
Yeah.
It's gonna flow white and
It's going to flow
take
white. It's going to take
It's
one,
okay.
12, 11 more turns of this. And, Naoto now in an awkward situation. He's going to be able to play Abrupt Decay. So that's good.
All right. So yeah, keeping the Abrupt Decay, just send back
Playing
the
another
Abrupt Decay.
threat, I presume, a Ponder.
Yep.
I don't like this use of the black mana. I presume there's some kind of delve spells like Tasiga or Gourmet Angler in Naoto's deck. So it could be very. He could very well have left the black open, given that there's no single red spell that you probably want to play this turn. Mark drawing, and this is a good position for the Miracles deck. Drawing Sensitive Divine top is just perfect here because Mark gets to further filter his own cards that he's drawing.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna cast Slaughter Games.
Right. Naming. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily a loss for Mark because Mark's kill conditions are quite varied. And Mark doesn't actually have to win. Because Mark is up a game, he can just, play this game out to its conclusion.
And just make sure that he gets more information out from his opponent.
Yeah, so long as he plays in an expedient fashion, I think Mark's going to be...
Exactly. They've got 20 minutes left. So
he's going to go with the plow on the elemental token just to make sure that his opponent doesn't get the value out of naming plow. But I think Malto quite rarely goes for the terminus.
Yep.
But I think in this scenario, Mark still has quite a few live draws.
Mm-hmm.
And with his opponent, tapping 4 mana on his turn to basically do nothing, Mark is in quite a commanding position, especially with the card selection up top. I disagree with Mark's choice to select cards to activate the top during his in response to the Slaughter Games, because Slaughter Games is uncounterable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he should have left the mana so he could filter it after the shuffle effect of the Slaughter Game.
So now he has to do it during the upkeep. Which
is fine. I think he can still cast the majority of the cards that he wants to be casting, like Counterbalance. And he's gonna lay a land, which is pretty good. Turns on the Real Elemental Blast in his hand. Mark being a goon and flipping it over and reminding his opponent that he has it in his hand.
What is that?
It's a Jace Vryn's Prodigy. And that's gonna fall right into the Real Elemental Blast that's in Mark's hand.
Yep.
So Naoto has to know that that's Mark's angle here, right?
I think.
Yeah.
You can.
So I'm curious. Yeah. So
there must be another spell in his hand that probably
that protects it.
True Name Nemesis. No, not that it protects it, but
that's good against a Red Blast that he's trying to finesse out.
Yeah. Do you think letting the Jace resolve will be fine?
I think it's okay to let it resolve. It doesn't have haste, so you can always blast it again, especially if Naoto passes with this turn.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what so he's gonna go
Stifle.
for Stifle, and he's gonna. Oh, okay. I see what Naoto's trying to do. He's trying to let his opponent not find the red source
and
a white source.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mark drawing, fetching. Presumably that's the way Mark likes to lay his lands.
Yep.
Getting Volcanic and being able to blast the
Jace. Yeah. Okay. So it was a piece of protection.
It was actually. It's actually really smart of Naoto here because he's able to turn a card that's otherwise dead into something relevant.
Yeah. So it's land destruction. Well done.
Sorry? It's in the modern box.
So
Modern box. Because with the EMA stuff, yeah.
Alright,
So Mark able to top and Naoto blanking for his turn. Mark thinking about what he's going to do. He's probably drawn Snapcaster Mage because he's picked up his graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark deciding that it's very safe for him to hang on to. Yep, we were right.
Fires off the...
And he's got a counter spell.
Oh, cool.
So it's back and forth top decks. Because these two players are masters of Eternal Masters.
Yeah,
and Mark
doesn't matter what
format
you do.
And playing a second Snapcaster Mage.
Goodness, is he gonna brainstorm?
I don't like what. I guess he's not played any ponders this game, so there's no need for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mark with the brainstorm. Seeing
take the
Console's Judgment, which is not great now without access to any white mana at all. Putting 2 cards back. No. He needs to put 2 cards back, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mark with a Force of Will and another Divining Top in his hand.
Alright, so wow, what's better than one Divining Top?
So
Well, not
attacking
necessarily
with
a second Divining
the
Top.
slow death by Snapcaster.
Okay, True Name Nemesis is going to hit the
Casting
board
True
here.
Nemesis, topping in response to find
the
a
blue
card
card.
to pair up with his Force Will in his hand,
Does
presumably.
he? Yeah, so he's going to activate one of the tops, put it back on the top.
And
and,
gonna,
Elemental Blast.
such a
Wow,
lucky
what
boy.
the hell, you,
Such a lucky
you-
boy.
you smart man. You.
So he's gonna draw the other top.
Do you cast the top now?
I think you do. I can see what
Yeah.
Mark's trying to do. I think his hand is the top of his deck is 2 white cards, so he doesn't want to take the risk and go for the and we were right. Doesn't
so,
want to take the risk and go for
hmm.
and top in his upkeep. Mark quite rightly drawing
Alright, so wow, a third top.
the third top, which is good. He's playing a Delver of Secrets here. Which I think is okay, so long as Mark finds white mana in a reasonable time frame.
I don't think the Delver will trade off with the
With the
Snapcaster.
Snapcaster.
Right? The ability to flip the Delver in
Yeah.
a Grixis Delver deck. I think quite high.
I think Mark is a little bit frustrated without being able to find white mana.
Source, yeah, either a white source or blue card.
So thinking maybe about forcing this, drawing for his turn,
Just gonna swing in.
go to
Yeah.
9. He's
Going
topping
top.
again to look 1 card deeper. Quite quickly finds the white land. He's gonna draw the white land with his top. I think he drew Pyroclasm. That's the card in his hand. So Mark is thinking about. He's gonna draw the white land. He's gonna cast Ponder. Oh, it's not a white land. It's a
Okay,
Ponder.
Right, so
He's
Ponder,
gonna Ponder.
he will
presumably the shuffle is
away
that-
the entire
yeah.
this thing. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I go back on my word. Maybe 2 tops are better than 1.
Yeah, 2 or 3 tops.
2 or 3 tops.
Still great. So he's gonna draw.
What does he draw? I believe it's a blue card, right?
I think it's a blue card, which means that he has a next threat
Alright,
covered.
so okay, Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay is good.
Yes.
Mark goes down to 5. Still healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna top at the end of his turn.
Needs to find a way to get rid of the Delver. Anything
Yeah.
in the deck that can
He has plows. He still has 2 plows left in his deck. He
Right,
still has
okay.
red element, any of the red elemental blasts that he wanted to use. And he still has that pyroclasm in his hand.
right, okay. So you can
Oh, he
just
drew
fire up the
Caracas.
turn. Ooh.
So I don't really like Mark's playing the Caracas here, especially if he
Oh.
doesn't have a white
Yeah.
spell to play.
Is that that's the Pyroclasm.
Yep. So this is Pyroclasm
Gonna
to
destroy
take
everything.
out. Yeah. Which is smart play on Mark's part to keep the
just to make sure that the life totals are
Ponder,
managed.
presumably looking for some kind of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And the best kind of pressure you can have in this situation is a young Pyromancer because it requires multiple cards to deal with. And that's another Delver, which I think Mark is going to respond to with a top activation to see what his future looks like.
Trying to probably get the.
Yeah, I think his response to this Delver is determined by what he sees on top of his deck. But
What could you draw? I mean, okay, so there's still a lot of live draws, right? You can draw the.
yeah, you can draw any of the plows. Another red elemental blast. I think he quite possibly has.
Second Force of Will.
He's got a Force of Will.
And gonna.
Pitching counter spell, so going to 4.
Does the
And
Grixis
he's gonna
Delver
top.
deck run lightning bolts? It does, right?
Presumably, yeah. I'm not sure how many he would have in his deck
He
post
might
board.
take it out, yeah. He
Yeah.
might take it out post board, yeah.
Because it doesn't do too much.
It does get rid of the opponent's snapcasters though.
It
But that's about it.
yeah, it's
You
quite
know,
weak
you-
in that
you want-
situation.
Yeah, you want like more powerful spells.
Down to one. We're not streaming.
Yeah, no, we're not streaming. I'm gonna restart the computer after this because yeah,
Okay.
seems that we are facing
So Mark
bigger
playing a
technical
land.
issues.
I think Mark has another hard cast possible in his hand. So
Can he? Oh yeah, he's got
yeah,
5 mana. Ha,
so
ha,
he's
ha,
gonna-
ha. Wow, this is interesting.
Mark is going to top.
Uh,
Oh no,
just
he does.
top.
He does not have hard cast possible. He does have Snapcaster though, maybe. Or he has Council's Judgment.
Okay, yeah, he's got Council's Judgment, but he needs a white land to cast it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna brainstorm. What does he find? Okay, so the 3 cards that he saw: the Council's Judgment. He's gonna brainstorm again.
So Mark going even deeper.
I don't like the top activations in between. I think you should just brainstorm into brainstorm.
Hmm.
Leave the top activations for, after
Yeah.
you resolve the last brainstorm.
Especially since you're pinched on mana and now you fall to your opponent's days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mark could have. I mean, I think it all goes back to that turn where he left. He played a basic island instead of a volcanic island.
Okay. Gonna cast a counterbalance. A little too late.
Yeah, because he
Mark
knows his
has one
opponent
turn.
has a has a council. Has a abrupt decay in his hand.
Right. Okay.
That he flipped off the Delver.
So is he trying to bait out the abrupt decay?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's quite marginal. And now Mark can't draw any fetches. So drawing quite thin to find his one last Tundra or one extra planes.
Okay. So
Now Mark drawing
looks like a
Snapcaster Mage.
Mage that still cannot block a True Nameless.
Yeah, it can plow itself. But I think Mark
No,
is
but
better
you-
off going for Snapcaster and Ponder to look for a white land.
Mm.
And he finds the white land. He finds
Wow.
the basic planes, I think. I saw the flash of a basic planes.
Okay.
And he's going to be
Activate
able
the top
to.
just
Yeah.
to.
I think Naoto has Force of Will in his hand.
Mhm.
So I think Mark might be dead anyway. But Mark
Oh,
doesn't know
okay.
that just yet.
So yeah, these players are at 0 and 1. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see. So he's gonna lay the land and Council's Judgment.
So Naoto presumably has this Force of Will.
Does he? So
So he has Abrupt Decay. Yeah. Oh, okay. He doesn't have the Force of Will.
All right. Okay. So he gets rid of.
So he gets rid of the. He has a lightning bolt.
lightning bolt
So it's gonna go to game 3.
Sure, why not, right? Okay, so we're going to go to game 3 between Mark and Naoto. Naoto piloting the Grixis Delver deck, something very popular in the Legacy format. Mark is piloting the Miracles deck, and they are 1 and 1. Do you sideboard anything differently on the player on the draw?
I think if you're on the draw against Miracles and you had Dazes in game 2, you probably take Dazes out game 1.
Okay, right.
I think Stifles are still good against the Miracle trigger anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like Mark could have. Yeah, Mark, just gave up a few points here and there with his card choices over the course of that game, and he, ended up paying for it.
Yeah,
could've-
that first sunburst, the first explosives
Yeah.
was quite
put him
critical. That
way
was
behind on
9 damage, man.
Yeah.
But of course, drawing like a king also helps, yeah.
Yeah, always helps. Well, but now that you know your opponents kept the bolts in, you're less inclined, for example, to run out a Jace out in the open.
Yeah. Okay. Does the
I actually don't really like Jace in this matchup. I'd sooner play something like Monastery Mentor, because Monastery Mentor at least blocks.
Blocks, and it gets tokens out quite nicely. Puts a clock on your opponent, even though you're not proactively casting spells. We're gonna look at their deck lists. We're gonna look for all their deck lists. So that's Naoto's. Okay, thank you. So Naoto.
I know Mark's deck list, so.
Alright, so
So yeah.
Naoto.
So Mark leading off with Volcanic into the top.
Mm-hmm.
And Naoto being able to fetch and play a Delver on turn 1.
Yeah.
Mark's just gonna straight draw. Presumably he has enough lands, so he's not too worried about that kind of development.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a
Red
plains
and white sauce
into a Source to Plowshare. So this is a perfect start for Mark.
Yeah.
And if he can follow this up with more mana development and relevant spells, I don't think Naoto is going to be in. Naoto's on the back foot. I think something that a lot of players don't realize and that you should probably be more mindful of when you fetch in Legacy is that you should let your opponent finish fetching before you play
you cast any of your spells. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Goyf.
Yeah.
And I think Mark, not too worried about the Goyf right now because it's a 1/2.
Mm-hmm. Can be easily dealt with.
It can be easily dealt with, especially with cards like Terminus. So Mark's gonna be able to.
Mark looking for a second blue source. I think he's got.
It in his hand.
Yeah,
he's got a Flooded Strand.
Land, yeah.
But he's just deciding what he wants to draw for this turn.
Okay, so we see a Brainstorm. I think
Yeah.
you just go off on the.
Especially if you have the Terminus in your hand.
Yep.
Mark choosing to play the Brainstorm now.
What is Naoto? What did Naoto put on the table?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it looks.
Oh, he has a Goyf counter. So
right. Okay. So lands and.
So attacking, getting in for 2.
That's an instance.
And Naoto in an odd position here. Which is why the Miracles deck is usually favored in these scenarios. Okay, being able to play a Terminus at the end of turn.
Yep.
So he's gonna Flusterstorm.
That, yeah.
I really don't like Mark's choice to Flusterstorm here, to Terminus here.
He could have done it on his upkeep.
He could have done it on his draw step.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to go with a more mana efficient route, but as a result, I think he's lost a pretty good card in this matchup. So he's gonna draw his top for his turn. I don't think Mark's under too much pressure here, but with the sorcery in the graveyard, now ups the Goyf count.
Yeah, puts it out of he can draw. I mean, he could just draw a.
So Mark has another Volcanic in his hand, so he's not hurting a mana.
Yep.
And I think he has a Red Blast. So he has quite a bit of mana actually.
It's a lot. He's gonna
play
lands,
the top.
though. Okay.
Which, if Naoto knows to fight over this, could be huge. But obviously
he
not.
decides not to. Okay.
Yeah. Getting into the Goyf for another 3.
That's okay. It's not huge pressure right now.
Playing Ponder. Being able to select exactly what he needs from.
Does he decide to shuffle? We don't see the 3 cards that he.
So if you're Mark, I'm curious. I think I know what's happening. Maybe he put 2 Terminuses back, and so he's trying to bait his opponent. He's trying to look weak, bait his opponent into flooding the board.
Okay.
But that's not going to work, and so Mark is going to fetch at the end of turn.
Okay.
Into open mana on Naoto's end.
Okay.
But Naoto has no stifles, which you should correct. I think you can. I don't think you bought them out, but they might be more powerful as your opponent gets to the point where he has to miracle Terminus to be able to kill your threats.
Does the deck not run what do you call it, red basic mountains?
No, it doesn't. This is a list from this is actually my deck. So it's a list from a Japanese friend of mine. Who eschews the predict oriented builds of miracles and went with something very simple. So it's 3 Snapcasters, 2 Entreat the Angels, 1 Vendilion Click as kill conditions, along with your Jace. But as a result, it has to compromise its ability to run a basic mountain.
Source, yeah. Okay.
So Mark, going into 2 minutes, not going to be able to win this game in
he's
expedient
gonna fetch
fashion.
on the upkeep.
But we did move them, so we can, I guess,
give them an
an extra
2 or 3 minutes.
Maybe
3 minutes.
I think it took all in all about 5 minutes to move.
Okay.
So I think that should be fine. Because we had to wait for the winner of the players in the last feature match to move.
Get
Yeah.
the hell out of here. All right.
So yeah,
mark this.
but without too much time left, game 3 is
The
quite.
thing is, it's
quite
going to be
poor.
difficult for the Miracle Stack to win, right? Because the
In a
win
quick
conditions
fashion,
come very few and far between. And
I think Mark has explosives here. No. He should not tap the volcanic. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He's
Yes.
got Red Elemental Blast. No.
He does have a real elemental blast in his hand.
Okay. So he does play the explosives for 2.
Yeah, for 2. And then he's gonna lay. Oh, well, Mark really doesn't have the red blast in his hand. I think
Okay,
because he shuffled it away. Presumably with his brainstorm, which means that he's quite cold right now to a tuning nemesis.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that would be really tough.
That'll be
You
bad.
still have your top, so you might be
Yeah.
lucky.
And the engine explosive is pretty poor against any stifles from your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Mark is in. His opponent's gonna play Vendilion Click.
Mark lets it resolve. Sees
Sees
Ponder
Ponder and yeah.
Brainstorm.
And Mark should crack the explosives when his opponent is tapped out.
Oh, okay. So he's gonna crack the explosives. No
Yeah,
stifle though.
no stifle though.
Just
So Mark's gonna go to 10. But Alto now has
artifact as well.
Artifact as well, and he has Vendilion Click and Caracas in play.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Naruto out miraclesing the miracles deck by having a recursive source of card advantage or card selection or card control on your opponent's part.
Right now, Naruto has like 5 mana open, which means that
Yeah.
he can just hard cast.
He can hard cast a Force of Will.
Force of
He can
Will, or
control his
can
opponent's draw steps
just exactly the Caracas.
with his
just
Caracas and his Click.
keep bouncing back.
But he has to
the-
be mindful of a card like Counterspell. So he's casting Isochron Scepter.
Wow. Okay. Isochron Scepter. What would that exile?
I think he's gonna put a bolt on the Isochron Scepter,
Okay.
which still loses to I think. He's putting
No, it's
Abrupt Decay.
Decay,
So he can't get locked out by
the counterbalance.
counterbalance. So I think
Alright.
this is I think I should communicate the extra time to them.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark gonna try to ponder, try to see if he's got any answers to maybe the Isochron Scepter. Doesn't find any and decides just to shuffle up his library and draw the card off. I think players do get locked into that position where if there's one card that I want, you tend not to shuffle your library. But I think in this case might actually be quite useful. If it's one card that can save you for the rest of the game, you should be trying to do that. Here, Mark tapping the red source to indicate that he doesn't have the red.
Yeah.
The,
So now he's gonna be
Pyroblast.
able to.
Alright, so Naruto.
Yeah. So bouncing the Vendilion Click in response to the Council's Judgment.
Yeah,
And,
if he does let the Council's Judgment resolve, he'll probably just get rid of the Vendilion Click.
Yeah.
So now counterbalance hits the battlefield, and
But with Click in his hand, Naruto, with Click in hand, Naruto can control Mark's draw step with to get him off that top, meaning that it's not a hard lock. But I think Mark played this game pretty well in seeing the. So he's gonna play Click.
but he's
and
got to be
Mark-
mindful that
He
Mark's
has a
still-
counterbalance trigger.
Exactly.
And Mark's gonna be able to play that brainstorm that Naruto knows about.
Sheesh. So now this one's got to be very, very important. Let's see.
Yeah.
Does he have a 3 mana spell to put on top of the library?
I think he does. And even if he doesn't, he has a counter spell for it.
Right. Pure Heart counterspell, yeah.
Actual counterspell. So he's going to be able to play the top.
And
Yeah, with the lock in play and the decay having been consumed by the Isochron Scepter,
not
it
gonna
looks like
be-
Naoto's in a comfortable position. Oh, wait, ripping the decay.
Alright.
He's
Very
gonna
nice.
top in response. I don't know why. Just in case like a misdirection or something. Naoto down to one card in his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Well, if
better
you
be.
misdirect, you can't really misdirect it, right?
You
Or
can misdirect it to the
To
top.
the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Naoto's
resolving
gonna
Death Right
cast the-
Shaman. Mark with no cards in hand, drawing for his turn, and this is a ponder.
A ponder. Let's
Looking
see
for
what-
any kind of action at all. Mark
Well, it looks like
probably going to
land.
shuffle. I think. If
Yeah,
you're
it
Mark,
looks like a land and like two.
a counterbalance. Yeah, I think if you're Mark, you shuffle. So we have the timer going to negative, right? So we can actually tell them when time is up.
No, we don't.
We don't? Oh.
Stops right there,
Okay,
man.
let's start
Stops right
start again then. Just in case they need to be reminded when the time is over. Oh, we have this, right?
there. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Exactly.
So shuffling off the ponder. Mark has so many options here. He's gonna be able to activate the. I disagree with his use of the red mana to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't signify. Well, you do have another red source, but
Yeah.
I think you can just use the basic planes, right?
I think
to-
he has Plow on top of his deck.
Okay, so,
So, yeah.
gets rid of the other red
Yeah,
source.
he has the basic planes. He should have used the red.
Well, you should just use the
He should
white
have used
mana.
the white mana to
Mhm.
top. Mark drawing for his turn, casting Terminus.
Gonna be a terminus. Gonna get rid of the pesky Death Right Shaman.
Yeah, it's gonna be able to drain Mark on his way out,
Yeah.
but not something that Mark is too worried about. He's gonna hard cast a Force of Will.
Is that gonna resolve? I think at this
I
point,
think
yeah,
Mark's
you
gonna
top, right?
top.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can find any kind of interaction. Finding a Snapcaster Mage.
Oh goodness.
Because this is the only time he reaches for his graveyard.
yeah. This is
Yep.
where miracles work, right?
And
no,
he's
it
going to be
doesn't.
able to draw his. Oh no! Forgetting about his opponent's ability to Deathrite away spells from his graveyard.
Okay. Gonna strip some lands.
Playing a Goyf.
Goyf,
Oh,
gonna
and so I
be
think the card
big.
that Mark saw off his top was another Terminus.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would
if
make sense.
That was the quickest.
Like, yeah, I'll just let this
It was
one.
the quickest pass ever. Mark's gonna just draw and flip that Terminus again. Nope. He's gonna fetch and cast the Terminus that's in his hand.
What?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. I see. Yep.
Alright, so this game is gonna go down to the wire.
He's gonna go to 4.
It's gonna eat.
Oh no, he's
So
gonna go to
yeah,
7
going to 7.
because he didn't get to activate last turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Naoto.
Alright, so
drawing
time
card-
to recall.
top decking True Name Nemesis.
Wow. Well, that's
Wow.
the thing. These are turns. We've gone down to turns already.
Oh, but Mark has the
So-
Terminus.
Again.
No Terminus.
Alright, okay, so
He has Ponder.
Ponder.
Wow, Naoto top decking that.
True Name
Name
Nemesis,
was
like
huge.
a mouse. No, but that's the thing, like, he needs a lightning bolt, I think, on top of this. Because
Mark shuffling.
Mark is on turn 1, which means that Naoto only has like 2 swings in.
Yeah. Putting Mark to 4.
Yep. He needs Mark to take 1 more
I
damage.
think Mark
to
should have
get
topped
him.
in his turn.
Yeah, so
Oh, so accepting that it's going to be a draw.
yeah.
But Mark with the entreat. He could have entreated. And
No, it's not enough.
yeah,
You
no,
need
he can entreat
for...
and plow his own
Oh,
angel.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's survive. Alright,
So thanks
Yeah,
for watching. I know the stream is down, so it's quite unfortunate you're not going to be able to do this. So let's go and reset the stream right now.
yeah, okay. I'll do my regular outro on another time.